Brown 45! Brown 45! Hot, 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 hot!
You are listening to Any Given Sunday, Australia.
Yes, hello and welcome to Any Given Sunday Australia, the summer series, the series where we find out why Australians love the game of NFL. Joining Charlie and me today is an NFL and an AFL ambassador that has taken the social media side of the game by storm. She's one of the faces of NFL in Australia now, and most importantly to me, her husband is a Green Bay Packers fan, so that's huge. Joining us, Miss Tiffany Krylov. How are you?
Oh, guys, that was a very, very nice intro. A way to give me a big head at the start of the podcast. So
Well, as long as I mentioned that your husband's, I got to meet him down in Melbourne, and big Green Bay man. I love it.
I'm working on it. I'm trying to change that. Give me a few more years, I'll stray him to the dark side.
Well, from what I've experienced, Tiff, Green Bay fans are just slow learners. So good luck with that. I don't think it's going to work out.
I'm investing a lot of time into it, but I haven't given up yet. You got to do it. It's important.
I'm not going to bite on that one.
It's great to have you here. We had a great chat at the NFL draft night party. You were drafted to the Cincinnati Bengals. You are a big Bengals fan. But taking it back a little bit, how did you first get into NFL?
I've always watched the Super Bowl, when I was younger, because I love the hype around it. Like, oh my gosh, it's this big sporting event. Thought it was really, really cool. But I watched that for quite a few years, and then I never really had a team. So I was just, I'll just watch a couple of games in the playoffs or watch the Super Bowl, and that was sort of it. My husband, who I've known for a very long time, did support the Green Bay, so I had a bit of an allegiance to them, but I never had a team of my own. And then there was just 1 year where I was like, no, I'm committing to the bit. Like, I'm going to find a team to support. And once I did that, that's where the love sort of started. So I definitely went from like a general interest in the sport, found a team, and then once I found the team, the love became for the team and then spread back. So it was kind of like this little in and out motion. But as soon as I, fell in love with the team, I fell in love with the game even more.
One thing that a lot of people have mentioned is the way that NFL, there are so many stories, and the way that they are constantly telling stories in the media and the way that they do it. And I think once you pick a team, you start paying attention to those stories. You listen, you follow a player that you like, they play a good game or they have an injury or they're road, when are they coming back or are they going to make the cut? It's when you have a team that those stories really start to stick.
Yeah. And then it expands because initially you only your quarterback and a couple of receivers. And then you start knowing your running backs. Then you start knowing your defensive players, and then you learn about, all right, who are they lining up against? And it just sort of spreads. And who's our opponent the next week? Oh, let's learn a little bit more about them. So for me, once you get there, those stories. Then all of a sudden it just expands to eventually, here I am. I think I've been an avid NFL fan for probably, I think it's 13 years-ish now. And my knowledge is everywhere. And it's grown just from, just loving the Bengals, is I love every aspect of the game now. Like every single thing about it, I adore it. So yeah, it's been very natural. But that was sort of like the journey for me.
It sounds like, are you analytical with the game? Are you getting in and looking and going, geez, we're playing the Chargers this week and Herbert's been pretty good with the deep ball kind of stuff?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to give myself talk myself up and say I'm really good at knowing it all, but I love that side of it and I love trying to understand it. Like I always say, my dream is just to be like a fly on the wall at any of those coaches' meetings and just trying to learn. It's like chess on a field, and I love how intelligent it is. And I want to learn everything. I'm like, how the hell are they picking these players? I'm doing my best. So my knowledge has definitely come a long way, but geez, I'm still, sometimes I do think I'm smarter than half the head coaches in the league, though, which does concern me. But it's always learning. And the more and more I learn, the more I want to learn. And I don't think I'll ever stop learning about the game.
So 13 years, I was just trying to pick, is that Big Red kind of era, or who are we talking about when you got into it?
Andy Dalton was the reason. I mean, I get all the time, I'm a female Cincinnati Bengals supporter, so people will be like, oh, it's Joe Burrow, and I am wearing his jersey. So don't get me wrong. That man has saved my existence. But no, when I was picking a team, I was watching the Patriots and the Bengals. And if I'm being honest, I was probably watching the Patriots because I was like in awe of Tom Brady. Like, how can you not be? But they were playing the Bengals. Never heard of this team before. Couldn't tell you where Cincinnati was. Didn't know what a Bengal was. But literally, I watched them and I saw Andy Dalton. And I saw that the team with like the orange uniform had a quarterback with orange hair. And I'm like, this is a sign. Like, I love this. This is like meant to be. No, and it was a really, really good game. Andy Dalton, AJ Green, like won right in the dying seconds of the game. And I was like, whoa, like who is this team? And did some research on them. And I'm like, all right. And then I saw how bad they were. And I was like, oh, I can't support these guys. Man, I'm coming from a Collingwood supporter. Like, you know, I've been quite blessed with a team that's quite good. And so I went, no, I can't support them, sort of put them on the back burner. And then every week I was like checking the scores and being like, I wonder if the Bengals are doing well. If the Bengals are doing well, like I can support them. And then I realized like, man, that's pretty much just supporting a team. So I tried to resist it, but it was just a natural connection and I just embraced it. And then, yeah, but Andy Dalton like will always hold a soft spot in my heart because, yeah, he was Day Dot and he's a good guy. So nothing but love for Big Red.
We've talked about like why the NFL and why the Bengals and just with NFL as a sport that you referred to something about the fact that you learn so much about it the longer you go. What are you learning at the moment? Like what's fascinating you about the game at the moment, or what are you? Because I almost pick a different area to try and understand every season to try and learn. Because you can spend your whole life and not learn everything about it. No one's going to know as much as Bill Belichick, you know.
Yeah.
So what are you learning at the moment, or what are you trying to get your head around at the moment?
Always rules. Every season I go into it thinking I've got my finger on all the rules and like I understand it. And every season I'm like, I still don't get that. Like how, you know? So the rules is always like a consistent one for me because they're so finicky and just when you think you've understood it, you haven't. But definitely this year is a lot more like formations and understanding coverages a little bit more. Like my knowledge on offense has always been a bit stronger, purely like from Madden. But I got to admit, when I'm playing defense on Madden, I'm just like blitz every single time, man. Like, what's this zone coverage? I want to do that. So trying to understand a bit more of the defensive side of the ball and some of the play calls there, which I've been finding really interesting. It's just a lot of YouTube videos and then watching it, you know, when it unfolds. You learn the most once you sort of have a bit of an idea and then the season starts and you can sort of see it in practice. But, yeah, I would definitely say formations and defensive play calling and things like that is my focus for this season. And, like, very fitting as a Bengals supporter and obviously having such a bad defense last season. I'm like, okay, let's see if I can understand how we can fix this and get on the phone to Zach Taylor and be like, come on, make some adjustments so we're not so awful.
We did have Cam Taylor-Britt on the start of last year, and he's like the
legend.
Yeah,
Legend.
the defence was looking quite good, but then it did fall in a hole. So we'll see how they go this year. Obviously, friend of the show. But you having such a big social media following now, and like you said, you cop a lot of grief. I've seen a lot of your videos. You cop a lot of grief, obviously, being a female that's covering the sport. But you'd also get a lot of practice in explaining to people about why the sport is so good. So how do you go about telling someone and explaining to someone who doesn't quite understand the sport and you know, from your point of view, why it's so good?
I try hit the level of the intelligent side of things. You know what I mean? Everyone wants, if people want to turn their nose up at it, they want to turn their nose up at there's American and that it's slow. And that's really it. That's the main feedback that they can give. It's too slow, it's too American, okay? The American side of things, I mean, for me, get over yourself, okay? We like American things when we choose to. Like, come on. They've probably just gone to Macca's as they said that, you know? So I'm like, put that in the back of your mind. But the slowness, I think, is what, you know, especially being Victorian and a lot of people are Aussie Rules fans, I'm trying to get people to realise that the slowness is a benefit for one of two reasons. If you want to understand the play calling and the decisions and all that stuff like me, it's so good. Having those moments in between plays where you can go, okay, what did I just see? What was the route that was being run? All of that, fantastic. But if you're not like that level, the pauses are fantastic because it's just time to eat food and drink. And it's fantastic. Why are people complaining? Oh, it's too slow. I'm like, yeah, more time to eat and to not work, which is a big tick for me.
On a Monday or a Tuesday or a Friday, you just...
That's it. Work starts really late for me on the days on Mondays and, and Fridays and things like that. So no, I think once people, I say, understand how intelligent it is, but if you don't want to go down that path, just enjoy the slow pace of it and like have a chat. You know, when I'm watching an AFL game, I don't really want to have a chat because it's all so fast paced. Middle of a, you know, while you're waiting for a play to occur, you can have a chat to someone and talk to about the game. And I like that social aspect of the game a little bit more. So yeah, turn the slow part, seeing that as a negative, seeing it as a bit of a win is what I kind of tell people.
So you mentioned a few historical players there. Who is your favourite player of all time?
Of all time? I mean, without sticking like in my team and things like that, one of the players that, you know, I've been an avid fan for 13 years, so that's like, it's Tom Brady era. And just watching that man and how he thinks and his story is really interesting for me. So you can't go past like the GOAT, in my opinion. I know there's like players in the past that people are more attached to. I get that. I think it all is very dependent on when you started getting into the sport. But for me, like, I love, you know, unpopular opinion, if people don't like Brady's commentary, I love it. I just want to hear every way that guy thinks about everything because I admire it so much. And yeah, I think I'd have to, I mean, I know it's a very basic answer, but it's Brady.
But like there are so many people who dislike Tom Brady, but it's purely because he beat them for so many
100%.
years.
Yeah.
And I was getting into NFL around the same time that you were. And it was impossible not to be impressed by his approach. And just the more you like, his story is he shouldn't have been the best player of all time, judging by his traits and where he got drafted. But he is like that Hollywood story of if you work harder than everyone else, you can get there. It's funny. I've been rewatching some games from last season and enjoying the Brady commentary, and the Bills-Rams last year, and this happened in a few games last year. He was losing his voice towards the end of the game because he's so genuinely excited to be calling the game. Like he is loving it. And, you know, like he gets really worked up and excited by good plays. And I enjoy that. And sometimes he explains things in a crystal clear way that helps you understand a part of the game. Yeah.
I mean, his knowledge is just everywhere. And obviously he gives you a quarterback's perspective, which is essential. They're the most important player on the field. Like you want to hear that perspective. But just his knowledge of coverages and everything, of routes, I love it. And I could listen to him forever. I can't imagine how awful it would be to have my team play him twice a year because they're in the same division as him. So that's terrifying. I'm surprised that you can admit that, you know, I would have nightmares about him. But no, what a brilliant mind. You've always got to respect a brilliant mind in any sport. And yeah, he's on another level. And I could just listen to him talk about football all day.
100%. I feel like the same with Tony Romo as well. He kind of he's so good at just breaking down, or even, you know, they're coming out of the huddle and he's picking what play it's going to be. It's so good just to listen and that analytical side and think, yeah, shit, to be that good at your sport and take it on afterwards is huge.
I love the way that Romo, like you say, he'll tell you what play is about to happen. He'll go, with the Bills, it's always, it's like, you know, whatever it is, like 4th or 3, he's going, it's Josh Allen's legs. Like, just Josh Allen's running this, and you just know, like, he just knows it's going to happen. Yeah. And it's so cool to have that in the commentary. I think we get a bit stiffed in commentary in Australia. Like, the standard of knowledge and commentary in NFL is something else.
Yeah, and I love that. And I just don't get why some people, you know, will be like, rag on it, don't like it. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, this is the best. I want that inside perception of the game always. But yeah, they're so smart. And I think that's, you know, back to selling NFL. It's just, you don't like the quarterback's such a great series for that reason. I'm like, all my people who I'm like, watch that, watch what their brains are going through. Like, these are intelligent people, and I don't know, I love it. And yeah, if they can commentate, I'm all about it.
We've heard, obviously, those who follow you, and like I said, you've got a massive following down here. Joey B, everyone knows that Joey B is your guy, and we've had a little bit of back and forth online about it as well.
Yes, thank you.
So, besides Joey B, who are we saying is your favourite current player?
Current player besides Joe Burrow, and I can't pick someone from the Bengals?
No, you can pick whoever you want.
Oh, then it's Jamar Chase.
You want?
I'm just going to go the 1-2 punch, man. No, like, I remember obviously after drafting Joe Burrow, I remember the flack we got when we drafted Jamar. Everyone's like, what are you doing? You know, Joe Burrow was destroyed because we couldn't protect him. Our O-line was so bad. And then you spend your first round pick. What was he, like the 4th or 6th? An early pick.
He went 5th.
5th, thank you. You spend that on a wide receiver. But I remember thinking to myself, I was like, nah, this is Joe Burrow's team. Like, it is. I supported this team, and I saw how we had nothing going for us, like, really. And once he came in, it was like breath of life. And I was like, give him whatever he needs. If he wants his receiver from LSU, give it to him. Like, and they'll say, oh, no, it wasn't him making. Of course it was him making the calls.
Yeah.
And I had...
It made perfect sense, though, because, like, how often does it take for a quarterback to get on the same page as a wide receiver one, maybe a season?
Yeah.
And they came out of training camp and they were good. Like, Chase just had to learn the playbook and they could speak in shorthand.
That's it. And the first season with Joe Burrow, when AJ Green was still there, they were not clicking. Like, AJ Green, his man was Andy Dalton, and you could tell he was a little bit peeved by the change. And the chemistry just wasn't there. It needed to happen, and everyone was like, nah, worst decision you can ever make. And I'm like, no, I had faith. As much as the Bengals organization does questionable things, I've had faith in that decision. And, I mean, it's done me really well. Besides the 1 year I drafted Jamar Chase in fantasy, it was the 1 year he had dud year. But every other year, he's just been a fantastic. So if it's not Joe Burrow, it's going to be his right-hand man.
Do you know what has been... obviously, you've watched the quarterback series on Netflix, but the relationship between Jamar Chase's parents and Joe Burrow's parents, the fact that they're friends and they hang out together, and it is just so adorable. And the fact that they got... That's one of the rare things that almost never happens in the NFL. The idea that you play through college together and then play on the same team together and it goes well. So you're obviously... And you both sign big contracts. The fact that they get to have that is just such a beautiful little, like you say, little sub-story going on.
Yeah. We need it. We needed some things. We need these bit of excitement because it was very much like a struggling team. You know what I mean? You're already sharing Ohio with the Browns, which have a huge fan base. So the Bengals needed any sort of story or anything interesting to go their way. And now you've got these two guys who clearly love each other and their families love each other. It's a great thing. If I'm to predict, you know, people always ask me, I think you've asked me as well, being like, you reckon Joe Burrow's going to stray? I reckon Jamar will stray before Joe does because Jamar's a bit more, doesn't have as much patience and he gets a bit frustrated if things don't go his way. So I don't know if they'll always be together, even though we've got the long contracts. I think Jamar, if things don't pick up soon, he'll try to go somewhere. But I really don't want that to happen. I'm very invested in keeping them together.
That's all right. The Bengals are always so happy to get the checkbook out and keep talent. So
we love it. We love handing out money.
What is going on with Hendrickson at the moment?
Wow, that was going to be my next question. I want a little bit of a prediction of what's going to happen because he's such a beast. And
is he
letting him
sitting out? Is he like holding out?
Yeah, he's out. Yeah. He's over in Jacksonville currently training.
Look, I know I'm going to sound really biased, and believe me, I'm very critical of the Bengals when I need to be, but in the scenarios in this offseason, everyone's ripping into them. They're offering him deals and a lot of money. It's just he hasn't got the long-term deal that he wants. Like, he wants the consistent, where we're only giving him money for like 1-2 years. I don't know exactly. So it's not that the Bengals aren't getting the checkbook out. It's just he's older, and I think they're a little bit concerned, especially after what they've done with paying 3 of their offensive players big bucks. They're a bit concerned about the longevity. And like more often than not, I know he came off a ridiculous season, but how many times do they follow it up? and they're worried about his health. So I get it, but yeah, I would like for him to stay. I hope they find some sort of middle ground. But I don't think the Bengals organization is as evil as everyone's saying, or as being as tight as what everyone's saying. It's just they're trying to protect their future. And at the end of the day, even if he's had a ridiculously good season, he's older, and they get banged up a lot. And I'm sure the Bengals are counting on developing people, but we can't develop anyone. The people we bloody draft don't want to play as well. So
that's another wild situation. But that's one as well, like where the Bengals aren't doing what the CBA is. Like the collective bargaining agreement's been decided, and they're expecting this one player to be the first one to break the union agreement. I don't know. I would go crazy if I was a Bengals fan. Yeah. Just the front office would drive me absolutely insane.
It does, but in the same time, like I try to see both sides. We've been done so many times in the past with rookies getting up to bad crap and breaking the law and getting arrested, and we have a bad track record of picking some not great characters. So I am my opinion is, if you think this guy's going to go to jail, like why'd you
draft the guy?
Exactly, but I think I can see what they're doing, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think we're the only ones who are putting this clause in. I think other teams have been doing it, but I think he would be the first round pick to sign this clause. Our other guys, like our other draft picks, have, but they aren't first round picks. I've heard so many stories back and forth. I'm starting to not even know what's true myself. But what is in this contract doesn't seem too unreasonable for me, but I understand like an agent trying to fight against it, because obviously they want security for their players. And I don't know, after watching, what's his face, the Chiefs, Rashid Rice, going to jail, or potentially, or whatever it is now. End of the day, I agree that it should just be a common thing that you're not guaranteed anything as a rookie, and if you can't play for any reason, I mean, injury's a bit different, but if you can't play because you've done something stupid, no, you're not going to send my team even more in debt. I don't know. So I see both sides, but I didn't like the draft pick as soon as we did it. So I was like, I just wish we drafted anyone else, but could have the same problem with a different player, so who knows.
It's interesting if you take like the pub test we always go, if you're in just regular world
yeah,
and you go to prison and they say, look, you're no longer working for us.
It's notoriously difficult to do your shift.
Yeah, it's a bit hard. Nah, you still don't pay me.
I know the NFL word's a little bit different, but it's all like it's also guarantees and things like that. I'm just like, what is this world where you're guaranteed things without performing? I understand injuries happen, but also at the same time, guarantees just kind of blow my mind. But look, I am very frustrated, and I hate that this narrative is always around us, and it's probably going to lead to another slow start. But I'm trying to be optimistic as much as I can. It's all I've got. My optimism is everything that I just cling to at the moment.
So looking back over all the games that you've watched, do you have like a favourite game of all time?
I mean, for me, it has to be AFC Championship when we got into the Super Bowl. That went from like just wanting to win a playoff game. We had how many years was it? It was like the Bills. We had like 30-something year playoff drought, just winning that play. And I had flown to Cincinnati and watched them play the Steelers in a wild card game, which we lost. So I just knew the curse of the playoff games. And watching us win a playoff game was the best feeling in the world. Like I didn't think anything could get better than that. So beating the Raiders, then winning another one, I'm like, oh. And then never in a million, I honestly just accepted the fact that the Bengals would never get to the Super Bowl, like ever. And watching us win that against the Chiefs, like I have videos of it, I was hysterically sobbing. And I think for me, I mean, obviously I don't have a Super Bowl win Charlie and I, we're on the same boat in that scenario. I don't have the Super Bowl win to get to, but Charlie, you can imagine yourself, like how close the Bills have gotten and how good that feeling just to even make it there.
Yeah.
Was the best thing in the world for me. But I'm sure, Packers, you've got the luxury. Okay, you know what it's like to win those things. But me, I was just happy to be there. And as much as, people always ask, would you rather have not got in and then not lost? Oh, sorry, got in and lost, or then not got in at all. And I would still take being in the Super Bowl. Like, it was such a big thing. Just to see, especially a smaller market team, see the name up in lights. So even though it made me considerably poor, because I spent all my money to fly over there to watch them lose, I think that game, and then it's tied probably that and the game against the Ravens where Sam Hubbard, the goal line fumble.
Oh, yeah.
He ran it back.
That was one of the best things I've ever seen in my life.
The best part about that was him on the oxygen after running the length of the field. That was so good.
His little thumbs up and so
good.
Those two games for me are the big winners.
Would that come down as favourite play of all time, and Hubbard running the 97, or do you have another one that kind of sticks out?
I love Sam Hubbard as well. I'm sad he's finishing up. We've got a Hubbard jersey. I think that was one of I could watch that all the time and just never get sick of it.
Is there any other plays that kind of stick out?
Plays or players?
Plays.
Oh, just a lot of the Jamar stuff. Dodging traffic, and I was watching the one in the quarterback where he just loses, shakes everyone, and then Joe Burrow's like, I didn't do nothing. Like, it was all him. So watching those connections, the T. Higgins, like, over the pylon, the Joe Burrow Superman, the Andy, hold on, one for you. Andy Dalton to Tyler Boyd to get the Bills into the playoffs. Yep. That one moment, like, for me, I watch that all the time.
Is that the one where all the Bills are watching in the back?
Yeah.
Back at the stadium?
Watching in the dressing room. So good.
I was watching that game, and I remember thinking, because our season was done, and the one thing you want to do if your season done is to help another team, especially a team that had the same thing as us, with the drought. And I remember thinking to myself as a Bengals fan, like, there is no way in hell we're doing this for you guys, like, barring a miracle. And believe me, as a person who's watched like every Bengals game, that play was a miracle. And I'm glad we did it. So that's probably up there as, I think it was Tyler Boyd. I can't remember. But yeah, just those little moments. But I love them all. I just don't like pick sixes. I don't like sacks. And I don't like fumbles and all those ones.
If you could take any player in the league to play for the Bengals, who would it be, and why is it Myles Garrett?
Could you imagine? That man haunts my dreams. You said like Brady should haunt your dreams. Myles Garrett haunts me. Myles Garrett would be up there. I mean, my default would be like, just give me Saquon Barkley because I love him. But we don't need any more offensive juggernauts just to lose a game after we put up 48 points. So who do we want to go? Maybe Pat Surtain. Get me a really good cornerback. I mean, we've got holes everywhere on defense. Maybe TJ Watt, like, instead of lining up against him, let him be on our side for once.
Because he's in your division, yeah? Like, so you must be sick of him. Oh, wow.
Yeah, Myles Garrett and TJ Watt in my... Oh. And then now, like, everyone in the AFC North is just drafted so defensively heavy. I'm like, oh, we're just going to be crushed the whole season. But it's okay. I'll say Pat Surtain, but yeah, I'll take any of those defensive heavy hitters. And Myles Garrett's a machine, so yeah, maybe we can't afford to pay him. Definitely not. We can't afford to pay any of them. What am I talking about? We're poor.
You got when you start rattling off some of these names, you got a very scary division. You got big King Henry in there as well on the offensive side that you got to try and stop. Like, you got some real big guys.
The one saving grace for me has been Deshaun Watson at the Browns. Like, I love that dumpster fire. That dumpster fire has given me life, at least, because I'm like, no matter how bad it is for us, at least we didn't do that,
It's just like the ultimate karma deal. Like, it was the worst deal, but it's also like, given why there was controversy around him and he wasn't playing, the fact that you signed that guy, be it on your own head. Like, terrible choice.
Yeah, and now I got your ex-man. I got Aaron Rodgers to compete with, and guaranteed this will be the season where he's back to Rodgers.
He'll go well.
And him at the Steelers will be this perfect fit. And I'm like, God damn it.
I think that's going too far. Like, I don't think they're going to be a perfect fit.
No, I don't think so.
We've got plenty to discuss about this. I know.
We'll see. I mean, I had a lot of hope for him at the Jets, and I was completely wrong. So The AFC North is a pain. It's such a hard division. It's just one of those. Every time those teams meet up, nothing makes sense. You could think you can predict an outcome of that game, and you will not. What is it? The Browns, when they were losing, won against the Ravens when they were unstoppable last season. So it's the NFC North is quickly becoming like that as well. But yeah, these North divisions are cooked, and you just expect the unexpected, which I love, but also stresses me out so badly. It's aging me terribly. The sport is not good in that sense. As I'm actually 20, and I've just really aged. But no, I'm kidding. But no, it's hard. Being
such a analytical mind, I find you go one of two ways. You either lock in all NFL, and is that you, or are you the kind that dabbles in the NFL and then just looks at the college game as well, and that adds another 600 teams in there as well?
No. I can't. Everyone is always on my case, being like, Tiffany, look, do you follow F1? Do you follow all this, and this? I started I have allegiance to OKC purely because I made a deal with one of my friends to support the Bengals if I supported OKC. So I had a little bit of basketball watching, but my brain is so consumed with AFL. And then once AFL is done, see you later, I go straight into NFL mode. I stay in NFL mode pretty much the whole time, though. I'm always on top of off-season moves. But because NFL's so big, once the NFL season starts, I'm useless. I'm on top of all the teams. My AFL knowledge is good, but my NFL knowledge is solid. And that comes from just always keeping my finger on the pulse, and I focus on that. I will pay attention to just stories and narratives of draft picks in the back of my mind, but no, I'm so focused on this sport that everything else is sort of very much background noise until season's done. Then I go completely in draft mode. I go, now let's watch the college tapes. Now let's see what's going on. Who's my team going to draft? Who's going to be the first couple of picks? So I just don't have... I admire people who can do it, but NFL is so time consuming, and I will sit there and I'll wake up at 3 a.m. or whatever it starts and watch Red Zone to the end and then watch the games, and it consumes such a big chunk of my life. And I have a job, I have real world responsibilities, and they just know on a Monday Tiffany's a write-off pretty much until 3 p.m. That's when my working day starts. So no, I focus on... There's a reason AFL and NFL have the
perfect
different
timings.
schedules. Once it's on, NFL is my entire world.
All right. Once you said you're 20 years old now, so you're primed, ready to go into the NFL.
31. I'm on my way out, guys. They're getting rid of me.
If you were able to throw on the cleats and the pads and the helmet, what position would you be lining up in?
I went to the LA Rams fan combine, and I was speaking to Steve and Kobe, who play for the LA Rams, and they told me I could be a running back, and I really, really took that on board. I'm like, guys, well, awesome. They said that. I feel I'm 5'2". I feel like with my stature, you got either running back and just hope for the best that you can dodge tackles or dodge blocks, and I probably would have to be like a safety. Like a weak side safety, not a strong safety. What am I talking about? A weak side safety I think would be good because I'd like to just sort of monitor and chase people down versus, I don't know, being a receiver seems like a lot of fun, but I don't really want to get hit. I'd rather do the hitting. At least I can control that. But now they can't do hip drop tackles, I wouldn't be able to do it.
You just got to slow them down and hope the teammates jump in.
Just be in the way, yeah, just sort of be an obstacle. But yeah, I would say... Give me a running back or a safety. That's more realistically what I could do. But if I could pick any position in the world, you'd be a quarterback.
Nice.
I want it all riding on my shoulders.
So you obviously have a deep and long-standing knowledge of the game. What is a rule that you don't understand? Is there anything that confuses you in the rules?
Yes. Someone tell me, when I was saying I try to learn the rules and think I understand it. Every year I think I have pass interference down. Every year I think I can spot pass interference from a mile away. And I still can't. I can, but there's other ones I'm like, how was that not? and there's other ones that get called. I'm like, how? It's very similar to AFL with it being so subjective.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just when I think I've got it under control, it will always be to take away like a really good play and then there's something like that, or to give up a really good play to another team's offense. And I'm like, how did that happen? So
that was prime last year against the Chiefs when you had them on toast. And
I mean, I get it, and I've learned that rule. I hate it so much. But I've really been focusing on like false starts and things like that a little bit more, on like motions. I don't know why I watched it for so long, but actually never like paid attention to like what you can and can't do in a motion. And I was like, oh, that's really interesting. So I think I've got that one down pat now. But yeah, I don't think I'll ever understand pass interference. It took me a while to understand like ineligible player downfield. Like I was like, what do you mean? That now I get that a bit more. But yeah, pass interference, I don't think.
the bane of your existence, well, as sounds.
I won't ever understand. And then I go to like watch AFL and I'm like, that's pass interference. Oh wait, how can they do that there but not here? So my brain sometimes struggles to switch between the two. You know, like when at AFL, like they're quite generous, like pretty much anything's a mark. If when you come down and like you don't have control of the ball, so it's an incomplete pass. Just when I think I understand what a complete pass looks like, they're like, no, actually, but you see his shoulder moved a little bit, so that's an incomplete pass. I'm like, are you kidding me? So, yeah, I don't think I'll ever completely get those, but I guess that's what commentators are for, and those rules analysts that they jump to.
That's why we have Brady and Romo, just to tell us what's going on.
Tell us what's going on.
Movies, the side that gets a lot of people into with Madden and things like that. Is there an NFL movie that kind of sticks out? And now in the last few episodes, we've gone it to, as long as it's got an NFL play or an NFL mentioning in there, you can pretty much have it. So is there any NFL movies that kind of stick in your mind?
This is Draft Day. The best movie. When Charlie said that when you talked about it at the NFL draft event, I was down the back and I'm like, he's talking about Draft Day. I'm like, that's my movie. That movie is my...
Here we go.
I adore that movie with my life. I'm like, you better not be ragging on my movie. I watched that movie, like, when did it come out? I feel like when I watched it...
2004, 14?
Yeah, I watched it before I'd picked a team, and I remember watching it going, I have no idea what's going on. And then I went back and watched it, especially because it had like so many parallels for me about like what was happening when we drafted Joe Burrow, like #1 overall pick. What's his name? What's his name in the movie? Bo Callahan or whatever.
Bo Callahan.
Bo Callahan. And I remember when we were considering drafting Joe Burrow, I watched that movie because the same sort of thing. We had Andy Dalton, we had our quarterback.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, is this going to be like a premonition of my future? Luckily it wasn't. But I will go back and watch that movie that many times. And every time I watch it, even though I've seen it that many times, I'm like, how does he get the deal done? What does he do? How does he save this mess? Even though I know the outcome of it, I still love watching it all fall into place.
Do you know,
and it's just a comfort movie.
If I ever get to meet Rich Eisen, I'm like just this huge Rich Eisen fan.
Yeah.
And him on the desk in that movie, like at the draft, if I ever meet him, I'm going, talk me through the Vontae Mack trade again. How did that
How
work?
did Sonny Weaver do it?
How did Sonny Weaver pull that off? And how did they also get a kick return? How did they get Putney in the deal? I mean, it's incredible.
It doesn't make any sense. And to this day, I imagine that's what's going on behind the scenes at every single time someone's on the clock. I'm like, I'm sure it's nowhere near as interesting, but God, I love it. And I mean, I don't know. People rag on it, but I'm like, I love it. I think it's so interesting. And I think it's a good way to sort of appreciate once again how smart these GMs are. I'm sure they're probably not to that level, but what they do and things that go on behind the scenes that we just don't see and the pressures, you know, I love it. I want to watch that movie now. Maybe I'll watch it tonight. Get back into the swing of things.
I just want to say you two. You can see as soon as you mentioned it, Charlie's like, "No, it's my movie. Don't you stay away from it."
No, not at all. I love other people's enthusiasm. One of my goals next year is doing an Any Given Sunday draft day watch party. So we do a big viewing for that. So I think you will have to be a part of that.
Yeah,
I think it'll be
please.
a good communal experience.
I'll still be there, being like, "How does he get it done? What is? No one came to the guy's birthday party. It's a big red flag, man. It didn't read the playbook and the money. It's important, man. If I was
last page, you always got to get there.
That scout. That scout is just one of the great characters. Just always got the info.
I love the way he's like, just ask me who did it.
Who did it? Who did it?
Tell me who did it, mate. I don't have time to ask.
Oh, I love it. I talk about that movie so often to people who don't watch the NFL, and I'm like, you just have to trust me. You
It's
just
so
got to
good.
watch it, and then they're like, no. And I'm like, okay, well, one day I'll get someone on board.
We do have to let you go very shortly, but a couple of quick questions before we go. What do you think is the hardest part about being an NFL fan living in Australia?
Time, the games, it's rough, man. Like waking up at 3 o'clock, and I'm obviously an East Coast team, so I play in the early window most of the time. Waking up to watch your team win, or most likely in my case lose, and then watching the rest of the games. And then when you get to like the end of the primetime game, you literally feel like you've lived 10 lifetimes. And you go back and think about your loss, and you're like, it feels like it was 3 years ago, but it was just in the morning.
Yeah.
And then you're going to do like a day's worth of work after you've working on like 3 hours sleep. So timing is super duper hard and rough. But we are quite fortunate, like with the primetime games. Like they're cool. I wish they weren't always like Monday, Tuesday, and Friday.
Yeah.
But ever since I started working from home, my life's a lot better. But I've always had like the 2 screens in my office. One's football screen, one's work screen. So yeah, timing is the hardest part.
And for those people who are not quite convinced about how good this game is and why you love it so much and why you've got 200,000+ people on TikTok watching you talk about it for 6 months, what do you say to those people about joining and loving the NFL?
I'd say do a little bit of like looking into how smart it is. I think understand, watch the quarterback, watch some YouTube videos about plays, about what they do, and understand that everyone on that field is, well, not everyone, but I would say 98% of them are really intelligent. Really, really. Sometimes I love AFL players, don't get me wrong, but some of them like, there's a bit of a buffhead and you kind of running around, you've just got some natural talent. I reckon most of the guys on those rosters really football smart, they understand what they're doing, and if you can start seeing the decisions that are being made and how plays are forming or not forming and where they go right and where they go wrong, use that dead time that people don't like, use it to try and understand what you just saw. You'd like it. Or polar opposite, if you don't want to go that far into learning, the intricacies, pick a team. As soon as you pick a team, you're invested. And watch some games, see who you gravitate towards, and if one feels right, follow them, and I guarantee the love from the sport will grow from that, because once you understand your story of your team and the narratives behind it, you'll start paying attention to the rest of the narratives that surround it, and it's really hard not to like, so give it a go, and I think you'll like it.
Love that. Tiff, you've been absolutely incredible with your time. For those that don't know where to find you and see some of the insightful and hilarious clips that you put out regularly, where do we find you and how do we get in?
Every time I don't remember my handles, so I'm really bad. I'm on TikTok. I think it's Tiffany.Krylov or Tiffany Krylov, one of the two, and I'm on Instagram. Same thing, Tiffany Krylov. If you search me, I'll be there somewhere. But yeah, I love looking at it and trying to find some humor in situations, and just if anyone wants to listen to me talk about what I think about certain scenarios, that's where I'll do it. And I have a lot of fun. It's sort of like a release for me, because I didn't have people to talk to like yourselves for a very long time, and I felt very alone as an NFL supporter in Australia. So being online and connecting with other people who like it or are getting into it is really quite comforting, because there's a lot more fans out there than what you think, and we always want new ones. So yeah, somewhere there.
Awesome, mate. We look forward to more banter during the season, especially about the Bengals and the Bills, and we will definitely get you back on.
Thank you. I'll be happy to come back.
Cheers, mate.
Thanks, Tiff. Go Bills.